welcome to our life. From the time they can walk, boys are told not to cry and hide their emotions. So how do we help them with the trauma? How do we help them to be confident men? So when we return, we will start to pull back the mask on the old wise tale. Boys are not supposed to cry. So we'll be right back.
Do you have less than perfect credit? Are you getting denied for loans and credit cards? Well, contact us today for your free consultation and learn the secrets of financial freedom. We can help with late payments, collections, judgments, bankruptcies, will, trust, and more. We get results. Let us help you. For more information, contact Nikki Ferguson at 281-788-9462.
We're back, guys, and I have my first guest with me, which is Mr. Damon Valentine. He's been here with us before for a men's show, but he's going to kick off to start peeling back this mask on the old wise tale, how boys are not supposed to cry. So what inspired you to be a mentor for young men?
My son.
Because you got custody of him at when he was 10, right?
Yeah, at the age of 10. I was always in my son's life.
And you were how old at that time?
I was, how old was I at that time? I was about 30. Yeah,
were you 30 when you?
30 at that time. Well, like I said, I've always been in my son's life, but from one day to the next, he was with me.
Every day. And so that was a big change right there.
Yeah, that was a big change from one day to the next, just having him, enrolling him in school, finding out what he likes to do, in that school and making him comfortable. Yeah, that was a lot, but it was everything.
You made it through because we'll meet him later on in the show, and he's how old is he now? 21?
21 will be 22 coming up in December.
So you and I met him in the green room, so it looks like you did a good job.
Hey, I did all right.
It looks like you did a good job. What is the first thing you work on with the kids when they join the program? Ooh.
It's all right. It's all right. That's the Lord. The Holy Ghost is in here. Holy Ghost.
What's the first thing you work on with kids when they join the program?
Finding out who they are, because the most important thing is self-love, believing in yourself. So, ask them, who they are. It's like an assessment, Some of them know, some of them don't. If they don't know, I help pull it out of them because it's there.
Yeah.
They probably just haven't had anybody to ask them, or they haven't journeyed there. So let me find out who you are. What do you like? What do you dislike? Where do you want to go? Where are you now? And where would you like to be? So it's finding out who they are first.
So for people that don't know you or are trying to figure out how you can do what you do, you are a musician, actor, motivational speaker, author, and you are the president of Young Kings Mentoring Organization that you founded back when?
That was in 2016 when
I
made it official. I was doing it prior to actually you know, making it a nonprofit organization. But after years of raising my son and being a mentor and you know, like a father figure to a lot of his kids, I mean, a lot of his friends, I said, you know what? This is the assignment. This is why God, you know, made those turn of events happen. And for me to even get custody of my son is something that is not common.
No, it's not normally, not for men.
Yeah,
at
not for
least.
men
Yeah.
at all. And for it to happen one day to the next, you know, I was ready. I was raised by a very strong father who actually raised me, you know, and then he met my stepmom, who's been a great mom to me. So I already had the blueprint, and I was ready, and I made those changes that needed to be made immediately, and we adjusted. But him being in my life is the reason for the Young Kings. I started it because of him and because of his friends.
How, tell me a little bit about working with parents, because you have kids coming into the program, you have single parents, you have parents with mother and father. How do you work with the parents to show them what you're doing to try to change their child's mindset or fill in that gap?
Yeah,
that's
you
needed?
know, that's one of the things that I try to focus on a little more, because I see that some of the organizations, they just focus on the kids and they send the kids back. And the kids go back to that environment and then you got to start over again. But the connection with the parents is everything. I
Yeah.
talk to a lot of single moms.
So you get to see where the parents are and see what resources.
Yeah, you have to not just speak with the child, you have to speak with that parent too. Say, well, hey, you know, this is the assessment that I have from your child. Now, let me listen to you. You'll be amazed how many parents, they say, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know they'd like to do that. What? When did they start doing that again? Wow, they can dance, they can sing. I never heard her or him sing before. And it's like, you know, I start to become a link. And that's the thing that is most important to me. That when they come to me or they're around me and they're around my mentors or around the brotherhood, whatever it is, that they go back and the parents know what they're learning and how they've grown, you know. Because a lot of these organizations or, you know, brotherhoods, the parents are not involved enough.
Exactly.
And you have to kind of also, you have to educate them, hey, I need your participation. So that's very important to me. I need your participation as a parent.
What are some lifelong tips that you give the young men to take with them into the world? Because once they leave your program, what's the age group, the age limit for the program to join the program at the youngest, and what is the oldest?
Yes.
Do they for your program?
So I started it off more of something that from 6 to 12. I started it, you know, there, but it started to become something to where they got older themselves. They were older, and older young men would come to me. I remember one time a young man, he said, oh, I heard you got an organization. I said, yes. He says, I'm 25 years old. And he said, I'm interested. And I said, oh, great, great. He said, I just had a baby. You know, you know, my girlfriend, I don't know, we're going back and forth. I don't know what to do. You know, I'd love to be part of the organization. And I'm thinking this young man at 25, like he wants to be a mentor. And I said, oh, great. Let's talk about how you can be involved with He said, no, I need a mentor. And he told me, he said, I have my mom has, you know, a boyfriend, so he's like my stepfather. I don't have a great relationship with my dad. And he said, you know what, sir? He said, my first time meeting you. He said, but he said, I'm not trying to say you're old or anything like that. He said, but when I look at you, I want to look like that when I get at whatever age you're at. You know, and it kind of showed me I might put some age, you know, restrictions on it or whatever, but, you know, I'm here for anybody.
Your door is open, basically.
My door is open. Yeah, there's grown men who come to me
Yeah.
And they said, man, I never had a father. I'm still struggling. Men my age, in their 30s and their 40s.
Yeah.
And they said, man, how can I be a part of it? Like, I see what you do online. I've seen you different places. And he said, man, I never learned it. You know, I'm still trying to find myself.
What would you say to somebody going down the wrong path? And the part two to that, how do you view the world today for young men? Because I think the world today for young men is very different.
Yes. Going down the wrong path. I would say stop and hit the reset button and look at who you have around you. I always told, you know, my young kings, I understand sometimes you're by yourself, you do something crazy. There's, you know, you overstep that boundary. You should have some brothers around you that pull you back and say, no, 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 we don't do that. We don't go that far. Like, let's stop. Let's come back and let's regroup. All right, guys, we can't do that no more. You know, because what I found out is that there's another group of men that are like, no, keep going. Keep going. And when that police car picked them up, then they back out.
All day long.
And then they get out of jail and it's like, hey, welcome back. And they pull you right back in. And it starts to become a cycle. Next thing you know, you're 30, you're 40, and that's your cycle.
Yeah.
So going down the wrong way, we all have done it. But you got to have some good people around you to bring you back. And as far as the world today, I would say we're in the most challenging times more than ever.
Yeah.
The world is like literally sick right now.
Yeah.
You know, and more than the vaccine, we gotta cure each other, you know. And that's what I plan to do through the events, through the shows, you know, the outreach. A lot of people need to know nowadays that there's some people out there doing something good.
Yeah.
There's some people that's willing to give up today in their life because they feel like nobody around me is good. I've been used so much. I've been lied to. I've been manipulated. I've been hurt so much. There's no way tomorrow that I can meet somebody that can make me feel better about myself. So the things that I do is not about me. My son was sent in my life at the time that he was for a reason, because God has an assignment for me. I'm fulfilling my assignment. And the young kings, that's everything to me.
So let's talk about before we take a break, because we'll be back in a few with some of your young kings.
Yes.
So let's talk about I Am the King.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so this is, it's a deep story behind this, but I'll keep it short. That character is my son. At the age of 10 that I got custody of him. So what I did.
And it's a rap-along book.
It's a rap-along book. That's what I say. That's a whole nother thing. But first, the image of it. My son, when I got custody of him, I had to enroll him in a school. And I believe it was Shadow Creek Elementary, I believe, is the name of it. And if you look at the character, his uniform is khaki shorts and a blue polo. That's what my son wore. So if you see him at the age of 10, this is how he looked. You know, he's grown up now. He got a beard. You know,
yeah,
you'll see him later. But this is how he looked at the age of 10. My first job was drawing caricatures at Astroworld.
Oh,
when I was fresh out of high school, I went to the Art Institute. I'm an artist too.
I used to work at Astroworld.
There you go.
For the summertime when I came to visit.
Shout out to everybody who used to work at Astroworld. They kept you out of trouble, you know. But as an artist, that was my first job. And at the time, I was shooting a reality show. And before I left to do the reality, I said, I'm going to write a book. And I thought about my boss. Andre Roberts was my boss. He was the owner of the caricature booth. I found him on social media. I said, hey man, I'm about to do a reality show, but when I come back, I want to do a book. First thing he said, why don't you draw it? I said, because God telling me to leave that to somebody else and use me for another reason. Then later on, I found out why. It was to have the mind capacity to come up with the invention of the rap-along books.
Okay.
So I put a QR code in the book. They scan the QR code with the smart device, and it plays the song,
Oh,
and they can
wow.
rap along to the words in the book. Then I found out it's not just fun. It's not just fun. It also helps kids with disabilities too.
Yeah.
So I have a curriculum that I'm creating for schools. I'm actually starting my own school, I Am a King, which will break down each stone.
Yeah, on the back.
Yeah, so Young Kings, I Am a King. The K is for knowledge, the I is for integrity, the N is for nobility, and the G is for gentlemen. So I'm opening up a school that's going to basically help young men get everything that they don't get from school.
Mm-hmm.
In school, they give them what they need so that they can fulfill the requirements.
Yeah, but you need other life skills.
They need some life skills, and that's what the Young Kings and I Am a King will do, and that's all because of my son.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break. Damon is going to stay with us, and we will be coming back with the Young Kings. Later on in the show, Damon is with me all day.
Yes.
And he has some more special guests that will be here with us later on in the show. So stay tuned, but we'll be right back.
$100 on chicken nuggets?
$100 on chicken nuggets. Really?
How'd you get in my house?
I'm with Wisdom Tax.
Wisdom Tax, so you can help me with all of this.
Most definitely. Looks like you need help in bookkeeping.
So what about maximizing my refund?
We can only maximize your refund if you get organized. Here at Wisdom Tax and Financial, we teach you how to be free. 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 Free.
Free! Awesome! So I can be free of these receipts.
Most definitely. Please give us a call.
Thank you. Can you free yourself out of my house, please?
Only if you promise to give us a call.
I'll give you a call. So I can be free.
Wisdom Tax. Learn to be free.
All right, guys, we are back. I still have Mr. Damon with me, and now we are going to introduce his young king. So I'm going to have each of the gentlemen introduce themselves and give me your ages.
Oh, so I'm Idris Harris, and I'm age 22.
My name is Hi or Dustin, either or. Also 22.
I'm Devontae Valentine, actually Damien's son. I'm 21.
Okay. Thank you guys for coming and sitting down with me. How old were each of you when you entered into the program? And you're Damon's son, so you had no choice but to be in the program, basically. So let me get to you last on that. How old were each of you when you entered into the program?
I would say for me, I was about 16. I was actually just becoming a sophomore because he had just become a freshman in high school at the time.
Okay.
So I was already like in high school and it came to mind. I think just around that time.
Okay, and high? Is it high?
Yeah, it's high. Same here, about 15, 16. When high school time, like freshman year.
Okay, and for you, when your dad started the program, that's when you were jumped into the program, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Basically.
It was all like the beginning of high school.
Basically, he had no choice.
No choice.
Yeah, he had no choice.
He was the reason.
Yeah.
The start.
So, were you open to listening, or were you still wanting to do your own thing? Because you guys were all in that 15, 16, and normally with kids that age, they think they know everything, because I thought I did at that time too. So were you open to listening to someone to help you go through that growing up stage?
Yeah, for sure. Because, I knew these guys since middle school, so when my dad kind of introduced that, it was something that was already kind of happening, because most of my friends, you know, different nationalities, different ages, different age groups and everything. So when we did come together, having my pops, you know, and like Idris is a great example. He has a single mother. You know, some of my friends, they do have single mothers, so being around my father, being around me, and just all the greatness we're around, it was something I was down for the cause for sure, even at 15. And of course, like you said, I was, you know, a little hard-headed, a little stubborn at first. It was something like, hey, I don't want to be the guy in the spotlight trying to lead everybody.
The poster boy.
Exactly, you know.
Yeah.
But after, you know, going through certain things with these guys, you know, just seeing certain people grow internally, losing some people that were the same age of us, it sure did grow me up and make me realize that there's a lot more than just what I want in this life. And there's a lot that needs to happen for the others and minorities and just everybody we know.
And what about?
For me personally, I think it was more of it was like I was already looking for better within my life. I had just moved to Houston. Like I had, when I first came, like I met them in middle school. Like I knew him in middle school, but it was only for like a year, and then I left straight off to high school. So when, you know, I joined them, it was like I had a friend group, you know what I'm saying, but not only that, it was a group of brothers I had never, you know, expected to meet. You know what I mean? So for like doing like the hard-headed stuff and all that, I was like I wasn't necessarily like against none of this stuff, but I was very for it, because, you know, it was something I was just looking forward to, just moving forward, and, you know, like going to something else, and, you know, looking for the next thing in life, you know, something higher, something, you know, better than what I came from, you know what I mean, or how life moved on.
So with you coming from a single parent home,
Uh-huh.
and once you entered into the program, did you see something that you were missing? Because I feel a mother, I think it's the ideal thing to have a mother and a father in the household.
Yeah.
But I also think that mothers can raise sons. A lot of people don't agree with that because they feel a boy is missing something that a mother can't give. Did you see something you was missing once you entered in the program, coming from a?
I will say yes, because there are certain things, but my mom gangster, like, for real. She you know, like, she really do her thing. Like she a nurse working full time, 60 hours. She inspires me, for real. Like, but she's been like this pandemic, but yeah, she's doing her thing. But you know, as far as like just not having my father in my life, you know, just the relationship, seeing Damien and my friend Devontae here, you know what I'm saying? Just how they were as, you know, father and son. There's certain things that I would see like, oh, like, you know, like this is something maybe I should take upon myself. So, you know, maybe that this will make me grow into a man more, and then I can teach my son this, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, maybe I can take this you know, this little certain things. And there's some things, I will be honest, you know, I felt sad that I couldn't have that. You know what I mean? I felt sad that I couldn't have that from my father at this point in fact. But, you know, he was able to provide that for me, you know what I'm saying? He was able to give me certain things that, you know, like I can't get, you know, off the street from some regular dude walking around, you know what I'm saying? A father figure, for real, you know what I mean? Like that's something that I was able to have, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm very blessed to have that. Very blessed to have that. Very blessed to have these guys from it. You know what I mean?
Okay. What about you, Hi?
I mean, at first, I didn't understand what Young Kings was, because I didn't understand how, like, someone could just start an organization like that, which was amazing, though. After, like, seeing Damon do it, I was impressed, and, like, it helped, like, in my life during the time when he started it. You know, my parents had left, so I needed, like, a family, and the Young Kings were a family to me, and I still call these guys my brothers to this day, and I learned a lot from being Young Kings. I learned a lot from Damon, to be honest. Like, it just made me grow up, like, faster than the other kids around here. So I'm pretty appreciative of the group, you know?
So can you guys tell me one major thing that you learned that you still use today?
I could say myself, of course, like you said before, I had to be that poster boy, but leadership is a huge thing. In work environments, in school, and everything I do, I aim to be the leader. I aim to be somebody that can push others to be their best self. Because I know, like, at a point, even before, like in middle school, we all were in band together as well. So, you know, we went through our own trials, tribulations personally, you know, anxiety, depression, stuff like that, mental kind of things. And getting out of that with a group of people really made me realize I can help others do this as well. And that was probably one of the biggest things, just leadership itself, that really keeps the flame lit inside me all the time.
Okay.
For me, I would say the one thing I would say is taking care of myself. Is because I remember there were certain things like they would be like, "Don't pull up with a bad haircut." You know what I mean? Like doing it. But you know, like I just never like going to get a haircut was never something I cared about. I never saw it as a huge thing, but really, you know, that stuff like that small stuff like getting a haircut and, you know, making sure, you know, your shirt's ironed, you know how to, like, because, you know, I didn't really know how to iron a collar shirt too much. Like before, you know, they showed me about starching my shirts, you know, this and that and all that. But, you know, those small things just within that, you know, I didn't realize that's part of, you know, taking care of yourself and making sure you look good, you feel good, you know what I'm saying? Like just certain things and those natures. And like from that, I would say those one, like that's the biggest thing I've taken from that. Not just only taking care of myself, but taking care of the people around me too, but really mostly taking care of yourself, because you can't help anybody else unless you help yourself.
Exactly.
For me, it's just one quote, to be honest. You work hard now, you play hard later. And that's what Young Kings taught me, honestly, to this day. Because back then, before Young Kings, every weekend was just parties. But when I joined the Young Kings, every weekend would be linking up with these guys and talking about, like, video ideas. Because we started recording ourselves just for YouTube, and then every week was just how to do this, how to do that, instead of partying. So you work hard now, and you pay hard later. That's it.
Okay. What would you say to another young man going down the wrong path? Because today, most young men, they don't even make it to your age. They either are dead or they're in jail or headed there. So what would you say?
Personally, I would say for sure, save your energy for the right people. Don't put yourself around, you know, a lot of people who are taking energy from you and not reciprocating that energy with you. Because I know there's a lot of people, I have a good amount of friends that were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. They're not here anymore with us. And I just know if they're around some more loving people, some people who actually care for them, they probably would still be here, you know, around us today, being able just to be alive, you know. Like you said, a lot of people from our middle school actually didn't get to even make it to 18.
Wow.
Because, you know, just the environment of the middle school was heavy, you know, gangs, heavy this and that, you know, outside of school, because, you know, there's just a lot of stuff in the area. But I know just for certain people, if they were just around, you know, us, they probably would be here today. And that's what I would say to a young man around the street, or just that I saw, because I know, like, I have a lot of friends still that are running the streets doing stuff like that, and I let them know, hey, you know, those people, they're here for now, but they might not be here forever. And I know that's one important thing I would tell.
Anyone you want to add some more to that?
If I were to tell anybody one thing, it would really be to make sure your mental health's okay, no matter what. Always, like that's. Like, if your mental is not on point, you slipping. You know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing that you know, you need to always make sure that's good and you're taking care of yourself. You're like, that's my biggest thing in it, is taking care of yourself and make sure your mental's on point. You know, because without your mental, you can really, like, that's coming up after being, you know, 18 and then seeing the difference just from when I'm 22 now. I've grown mentally, like. It's crazy. Like, it is crazy how much I've grown mentally. But I've also had points in my life where I felt like my mental was super low. You know what I'm saying? And I had never experienced that such a low a mental point. You know what I'm saying? That's so. If I give anybody that is to make sure, you know, you really take care of your mental, no matter what it is, your mental, because that's very important.
Okay. Hi.
For me, I would just say it's not too late to change. And that just please learn from your mistakes if you have made some in the past, because life is just short. Life just give you short, and it give you many chances to either correct yourself or just keep going down the path that you've been down. So just try to change.
Most definitely, Damon. You've done a wonderful job with these young men that I'm meeting today. So we'll be right back.
Hi, this is Willie Adolph of the Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. I'm here today to talk to you about home purchasing. You know, so a lot of times people want to know, where do we start? When do we start? How much do we need to save? What does our credit score need to be like? Can I really move in now? And the answer is yes. The thing is that you want to get pre-approved first before you even go house shopping, because what you wouldn't want to happen is that you find the perfect home, but the bank won't qualify you for your mortgage. So always get pre-approved first. So find a good lender, which we have a lot of resources for you on that. Second, you want to make sure that anything that's on your credit, if it's something that you can work with, let's work with it, because everything on your credit, you know, it depends on what it is for each mortgage company. And third, once you get that pre-approval, now it's time to go house shopping. Now, Willie, what about the money, the down payment and things like that? Well, they have a lot of programs that's out there. So based on your credit will depend on the down payment assistance that you can receive. But we do have a lot of resources and a lot of things that can help you. And everyone with the Adolph Group will hold you by your hand and walk you through the whole process. So you can contact us at www.theadolphgroup.com or 281-451-7087. And remember, when you have will, you have a way.
The Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. We provide residential, commercial, leasing apartment locating. We provide consulting on home buying, home selling, and credit restoration. We help with private investments through All Faith Investment Corporation. Contact us now, the Adolph Group at Equity House Properties. We make real estate your reality.
We're back now, and I have my special guest, Dr. David Fairweather, finally sitting down in here with me. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing good.
You were supposed to be with me on the Bio Boot Camp show.
Yeah. I got so busy. Sometimes, my career, my office, and what I need to do, it just gets a little busy, and I got to take care of my folks, my patients, and make sure everybody's okay.
It's okay,
And
but I'm glad you're here today.
Finally.
I'm glad you're here
finally.
today. What inspired you to become a physician?
Well, actually, that's actually a little complex question for me. My mom is a nurse. She passed away about 6 years ago, God rest her soul. But you would think that, that inspired me, but it really wasn't so much. When I was growing up, I would watch a lot of animal shows, PBS and things like that. And I really enjoyed the science. I really enjoyed watching these shows and learning, and I really excelled at an early age in elementary school in science. And I told people at that time that I wanted to become a doctor. And immediately they said, no, you're black, you're poor, you stutter, there's a speech impediment, and you can't afford it, you can't do it, don't become a doctor.
Wow.
So I still enjoyed science and biology and things, and then at that time they said, well, why don't you become a veterinarian, and even though it's harder to get into a veterinary school than medical school, it's harder. It's a lot, very, very few veterinary schools in the country, so it's harder to become a veterinarian than a medical doctor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but people didn't know that, and so I listened to my elders, and I sort of pursued this veterinary thing, and even went to college, with the thoughts of becoming a veterinarian. When I was in college, and I have to admit, I really learned a lot about life and learned about myself. I joined all kinds of different organizations, learned about racism, sexism, gay and lesbian issues, and society in general. And I really said to myself, I want to do something. I want to do something that is going to be profound to help my people and help society in general. And I said I didn't think I could do that as a veterinarian. And so I said, it was 2 months into graduating college, and I said I want to become a doctor, and I don't care what anybody says.
And that's another 8+ years.
Well, yes, something like that. Actually, a little bit more to what I wanted to do. So I, graduated college, and I basically went around New York trying to figure out how to get into medical school. And one thing that is very interesting, but is very profound, is that I didn't get here by myself.
Mhm.
There were people that helped me, and I
Exactly.
found somebody that saw that I was serious, and he saw that I had this dream, and he helped me, and he gave me a plan. He was director of the biology program at Queens College, and he sat me down. He went through the transcripts. He told me how people tried, in my college, how they tried to honestly, purposely tried to fail me out with the courses I was taking. And he said, man, not many people could have really passed with the amount of courses that you took.
Yeah.
And so you must be a smart guy. So I took some more courses, and I got A's in those, and then he helped me get into medical school, and I got accepted to 4 medical schools.
So to say that you were told you were black, you couldn't do it, you don't have enough money, you've been doing it for 20 years?
Yeah, I graduated medical school in 1997.
To say they claim you could not do it.
Yeah.
You specialize in weight loss and stuff like that, correct?
Well, I specialize in general surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And I got into weight loss because I had a problem myself. Before medical school, I was about 185, solid, working out, and actually one of the jobs I had was, like a bodyguard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, very, very trim and fit.
Mm-hmm.
And went to medical school and honestly just ate and drank coffee, drank donuts, coffee, gained a whole bunch of weight.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to residency, which was, medical school's 4 years, went to residency, which was 6 years, and did the same thing, worked hard, lots of hours, ate coffee, just gained a bunch of weight. And when I graduated my residency in 2003, I was 235 pounds. And then, I was married, and the first baby I gained about 20 pounds. The second baby I gained about 30 pounds because, we eat.
Yeah.
The men eat
Yeah.
when the female eats.
Yeah.
So I got up to about 280 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And I'm there. I remember I was there. I was in my early 40s, and I was turning in bed, and I couldn't breathe. I was out of breath, just turning in bed. My daughter's there, a little baby, and I was just looking at my daughter, and I'm really just struggling to breathe. And I'm saying to myself, how can I be her father, her protector, when I can't even turn in bed?
Yeah.
And then I decided to seek some help. And I sought out some help to help me understand, the weight and things like that. And then I, got with a different doctor's program, and I lost some weight. And then I decided to put the program on steroids and use my knowledge and add it to that knowledge. And then I went and took some courses, and I joined a medical weight loss society, and went around the country learning about weight loss and how people lose weight, how people gain weight, and all the reasons behind it, to the metabolic level. And then I started to help other people, do the same thing. So basically, I help myself. Now I'm 180. I weigh myself this morning 188 pounds. Not as big and muscular as I used to be, because that was, I'm an older man now, and that's not that important to me anymore. But much healthier than I was before. And my daughter, she's 15, and she's doing well, and I feel good that I'm able to offer some things to people.
What would you say to people that want to enter or want to lose weight and don't know where to start? And what is the first thing? What are some things health-wise they should review with a physician before trying to enter in a weight loss program? Because people get on all kind of stuff they see on social media.
Right.
And if you don't know your physical build and how you build up in health issues, underlying health issues, what
I think that the first thing that somebody needs to do is, honestly, the same thing that happened with me, is make a decision. When I couldn't breathe, I had to, make a decision. Had to make a decision. What do I want? Do I want to live, or do I want to die?
Exactly.
And I really felt when I was really struggling to breathe, I was going to die. And so I made a decision and stick to that decision. You'd be surprised how many people, if you have a plan and it's a good plan, you'd be surprised how many people try to sabotage that plan. And so I had to stick with that decision. I had to, go ahead and make the time. We're all tired when we work. We're all tired. Everybody's tired. No matter what you do, you're tired. But you have to make that time and be serious about it. So, once somebody is serious, and they don't all have to see a weight loss doctor like myself, but they need to, start down a trend of trying to be healthy. That means, eating healthier and getting more exercise, and in a sense, changing your lifestyle around.
Yeah, you have to.
Change your lifestyle around. You have to change some of the things that you do. And I think once they are ready, then they could seek a person out like myself. They could go to the gym, see a nutritionist, or if they have massive weight loss needs, like they might need to talk to somebody about doing a surgery. Even when they go to a physician to do a surgery, if that's your decision, they will tell you, look, you need to lose about 30, 40 pounds.
Before the surgery.
Before the surgery. Honestly, one, depending on how big you are, one, if you're too heavy for the surgery and it's unhealthy, but sometimes they want to see if you're serious. If you're serious, if you're ready, if you are going to be that candidate that's going to take the program seriously. So I think that's the first thing. Make sure you're serious. And make sure that's the thing that you want to do. And once that happens, don't let nobody take you off your course. I've had husbands sabotage wives. I had wives sabotage husbands. I had mothers, no, he's too small. He's I don't want him to be skinny itty bitty, and he's like 250 pounds. 5'2". That's no. And mothers.
That's too much weight.
Yeah. So just stick to your guns, and try to be healthy.
So before we end your segment, what advice would you give a man or men regarding their health? Because men normally do not like to go to any physician. I don't care what it is. It may be weight loss or may it be just regular checkup. They don't like to go. What advice would you?
Well, guess what? I'm a man, right? And I'm guilty of that too. What I tell men to do is similarly, make a decision. Are you about living or are you about dying?
Exactly.
Are you about living in fear? Or are you about trying to figure out what's going on and taking care of yourself? Young men, I tell young men, everybody knows what's right and what's wrong. Everybody knows. If you see other people doing wrong stuff, you don't need to do those wrong stuff. When I was a kid, I did some wrong stuff, and it basically delayed a lot of things. But you don't have to do those wrong things. You take care of yourself. You don't have to start smoking. You don't have to start, doing a bunch of drugs. You don't have to, start, eating in excess. You could just, do the fun things as a kid. Play sports, go out, support your family, and be a good kid. I mean, you can do those things, but protect yourself. You don't need to, join gangs. You don't need to, street fight. You don't need to, walk around with weapons or anything like that. And granted, I grew up in a bad neighborhood, and I've been through it. If I told you some real things, I've been through a lot of different things when I was a kid. But a lot of those things, even when I look back, I didn't need to do them. I was following my friends into bad decisions. So the biggest thing I can tell you as a young man is to protect yourself and to not just think that today is today. Think about your future. When I tell you I was in some bad stuff, when I was a kid, I didn't think I would live until 21.
Oh, wow.
But you're going to live until 21, you can live until 30, you can live until 40, and you can live until your 50s if you protect yourself, if you protect your future. Think about your future. Think about how you could, be better in your future. It took me a long time to get to where I'm at. I had to recreate myself many times. I had to find a flaw and improve on that flaw.
Exactly.
One of the things I told you, I had a speech impediment. I used to stutter. I still do. I struggle at talking. But when I was in college, I decided that I want to be a public speaker. I wasn't that great, but I still challenged myself, you know, and that's something that anybody could do. I'm a general surgeon, did, you know, so many years in high school, you know, college 4 years, medical school 4 years, you know, residency 6 years. I graduated my residency in when I was 34 years old, and I'm doing the thing that I'm dreaming of. I dreamt of being a doctor when I was a kid, and now I'm doing that thing. So don't think about also the time. It took me a while to get here.
Yeah.
But I'm here and I'm doing what I dreamt of doing. So it's better for me to do that than being here at 50 years old and saying, damn, I wish I would have went to medical school. It's too late now. I wish I would have, became an attorney. I wish I would have became a TV actress and model. Are you a model too?
I have.
See, I knew it.
I have.
But it's not too late to start. But as far as being a young man, just protect yourself, protect your future. And it's sort of similar, like how they say, oh, you put $10 away from your paycheck every day, and one day that's going to be a huge amount of money. Same thing with your health. Just protect your health. Regular exercise, eat when you're hungry, and don't eat when you're not hungry. And just going to the physician, making sure they do the labs that they need to do, and the checks that they need to do. Don't be afraid. Don't live in fear. If something,
we can't live in fear.
You can't live in fear. Fear is one of the things that holds
a lot of people back.
Yeah. Whole culture. Some cultures are so fearful of things, and sometimes just get the right information. And research the information. And I want to say research the information, not researching on
social
Facebook
media.
and research. Ask different doctors. If it's a medical situation, ask different doctors. And there's ways that you can look some of that information up yourself and see if it all corresponds. Don't be that person that believes in a lot of different falsehoods and what your friends tell you, because you don't know where your friends are getting that information. But overall, there's a lot of information out there, and I think that if you do the right things and get the right information, you'll have the success that you're looking for.
Well, thank you very much. I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for that great advice to men, so they can just take care of themselves.
Sure. And part of that is that I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I've made. And yes, I've made a lot of mistakes. And again, I had help.
Yeah.
I didn't do this by myself.
We can't do anything by ourselves, so people need to understand that. So I want to thank you again for being here with us today.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to take a break, and as we go into that break, we're going to receive some tips from Bellissimo Spa Sensory Deprivation Flow Therapy on relaxation and stress. So we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Iris Wilt. I am the owner of Bellissimo Spa here in Friendswood. We are located in the heart of Friendswood, and we are an oasis for anyone who would like to come in and relax and escape everyday stressors. We provide many services that are extremely therapeutic, such as facials and massages, but today I want to talk about our sensory deprivation float therapy tank and its benefits. Sensory deprivation, also known as float therapy, is a practice where an individual will come into a float tank, and here at Bellissimo we offer one of the largest tanks, known as a deluxe. It offers a foot of water warmed to body temperature that's filled with 1,500 pounds of Epsom salt, making the water extremely buoyant. Individuals will float effortlessly. Within that tank you will have Zenful music playing and ambient lighting to allow you to relax completely during your session. Float therapy has many mental and physical benefits. Some of the physical benefits include relieving stress on your muscles, soothe chronic pain from arthritis and any other inflammation in the body, improve circulation and even reduce blood pressure, as well as accelerating healing in the body. Some of the mental benefits really include reduce anxiety and stress, reduce chronic fatigue, improve your sleep, and increase energy levels. Bellissimo Spa is part of Bio Bootcamp, and we are here to help them educate everyone in health and fitness. Please come out and see us here in Friendswood and experience our float deprivation therapy tank.
We're back, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the tips from Bellissimo Spa Deprivation. So I am here now with my phenomenal guest, Miss Trish. How are you
I
today?
am blessed. I am blessed to be here.
And so you are, to let people know, a licensed minister, counselor since 2002. You work a lot with widows. Your first husband passed away in 2005. Second in 2020. An author, a board licensed spiritual belief therapist. Then you also do real estate. You're a business. You do a whole lot of stuff. You work with people with emotional, mental, unhealthy marriages, divorce, drug, alcohol abuse, sexual trauma, self-image issues, self-esteem. You touch people that are dealing with a lot of stuff, and I know later on we're gonna meet a special guest that you brought here for us to meet today, so we can peel off some of his mask. But let's jump into this. What inspired you to go into counseling? Because I listen to my friends and they listen to me and I listen to them, but why would you want to take that on as a profession?
Honestly, it's a passion that's been cultivated.
Mm-hmm.
And all the things that you listed
Mm-hmm.
that I help with are things that I have actually endured. Besides the domestic
Mm-hmm.
abuse. But I've had friends in dealings with that as well. But
Tell
I
us
think,
a little bit about your journey. That was my next thing. Tell us a little bit about your journey.
Absolutely. So I met my first husband at 20.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, there was a lot of things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
There were instances of abuse
Mm-hmm.
in different areas. And when I met him, he was the best thing. Like when they say,
Mm-hmm.
you know, sliced bread.
Yeah.
Since he was the best thing. And he had sickle cell.
Mm-hmm.
So I was with him for 8 years. Didn't really know it was terminal when I first met him. By the time I found that out,
Mm-hmm.
it was too late. I was already in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wasn't going to abandon the best thing because of a technicality, that's what
Mm-hmm.
I call it,
Mm-hmm.
with the human body. So with that, we were together for 8 years. It was beautiful. He
Mm-hmm.
did. He healed me, because when I came to him, I was broken,
Mm-hmm.
very broken. And he healed me in so many ways internally, even though his body was
Mm-hmm.
ill. And so that just kind of put me on a different path,
Mm-hmm.
to look deeper, to seek more than just the vehicle, the body.
Mm-hmm.
And so it changed me completely. It validated what was in me already. And that was love.
Mm-hmm.
That was, God.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding what we're supposed to be doing while we're here.
Mm-hmm.
And so in that, he gave me something that I feel like nobody could ever give me again, but God.
Mm-hmm.
But then I lost him in 2005, so he went home.
Mm-hmm.
He died, but he went home.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that with all certainty because I was there with him through his journey.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Lamont Winston,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the best man that I've ever known until this day. So after that, I became a single parent. And a lot of other different things happened that I really can't get into just in my journey. But raising 2 daughters, Lanasia and Lazoria Winston, and they were 2 and 4 when he passed away. So that was 2005. I got married again in 2015 to Quentin Maurice Murray, who was a veteran for the Air Force Special Forces.
And you are a veteran also.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I'm not. He was a veteran, Special Forces, pararescue, Air Force. And that journey is what brought me to this place where I'm sitting on your couch right now. Because throughout my life and all of the things, my father, biological father, not really wanting to claim me, denying me, because of his pain. And then my father, who did claim me, you know, being absent because of his pain. And then my brother, you know, and the abuse because of his pain. And then my husband, Lamont, seeing him struggle in his body and can't do physically what he has such a desire to do internally because of his pain. And then Quentin Maurice Murray serving his country and sacrificing himself every day, even after serving. And seeing his pain, living with it every day. And it just gave me this picture of where men are, not all men, but some men, dealing with that internal struggle. And it affects everybody.
Yeah, it does.
It affects the house. So if the head is hurt, the whole body is hurt. And being married to him, living next to him every day, it showed me a lot. It taught me a lot. Even in the things he couldn't say and he didn't say. But just being there. So that's what brought me to this place of speaking out. And I catch heat for it.
Hey, it's people in this day and time is very judgmental.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's so hard for people to get help and release the past, especially men? And I think that's one of the reasons, because people are so judgmental and they think you can't say this, you can't say that, or you look that differently because you say something. And I think if we just be honest about what we're dealing with, we'll be in a better place, especially mentally.
Absolutely. Honestly, it's the stereotypes, it's the stigmas, it's the things that society put on us, the expectations. And a lot of time we sacrifice ourselves and who we are at our core, which is our fingerprint. That's who we are. God made us to be different from everybody else in our own special way. But we sacrifice that and we put that on the shelf so that we can be accepted, so that we can be, so that we can get where we want to be, because the resources is in the acceptance of society and stereotypes and stigmas. So I think that we don't seek counseling and we don't seek help and we don't speak out because of that thing. Well, if I do that, that puts me in a category where I'm all by myself or there's very few there. When I want this American dream that has been sold to me in all these areas. So to get this, I gotta shut me up. So we put ourselves on a shelf and then we pursue the American dream and the facade.
Yeah,
and
with
all
that
those
mask
things.
that I always talk about wearing. Is it harder to work with men? Because women, as women, most of us will just be honest and open up and say what we got going on, but men won't do that.
And that's true. That's very true on a very broad spectrum. But what I've found about men, if they trust you, they will
open up. Yeah.
It's confidential, of
Yeah.
course, but if they trust you, they'll open up, and they want to. They just have to have the right platform.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the saddest thing to me, is that a human being can't be human.
Oh no,
You
they
know,
can't.
we're built of so many different things. We're built of emotions. We have a mental being, a spiritual being, emotional being, and then we have the physical being.
Yeah.
And all of those things make up a human being, whether the gender is male, female, or whatever you want to identify as. But when you talk about the male species and the way that they're expected to behave, it's saddening because they can't. They're between a rock and a hard place.
They're taught to hide.
Yes, and because the years have gone by, they will defend that. Some of them will defend that with everything, even though everything around them is falling, even though they're not happy, even though they don't have what they want, they will defend it. But now there are men who are coming out and saying, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I see it, you know, and let me say, you know, so some are ready to see it, some are ready to move in it, and some are ready to say it. But I'm here to be able to share my experience with men, because I think that on a broader spectrum, there needs to be a level of comfort. There needs to be a place where, or somebody to say, I'm not you, I'm not a man, but I've had all these dealings with men, and I've had all this pain that has come from the relationships with men, my expectations, or what should have happened and didn't happen. And I see the pain, I see the trauma.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to bring in your special guest that you've worked with before. And we're going to go through some of his journey. And then I have 2 more questions towards the end for you. So we're going to take a quick break, guys, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to River and Word. Our founder is Pam Jones, and she has so much to offer to independents. River and Word magazine helps promote, support, and connect you to radio, TV, and marketers to help you be successful in the arts. River and Word recently launched the River Word Gospel Radio Station. It's a place to gain more exposure for your music or talk shows. River Health offers all natural products that may help you lose weight, gain energy, reverse the signs of aging, improve eyesight, grow your hair, and almost 40 plus benefits. For more information, visit riverhealthnewulife.com. Pam Jones also has 4 River Consulting for independents, where she will guide, advise, and connect you to the resources to develop your brand. Pam Jones founded the River Awards to recognize and award the independent artists in music, dance, writing, and painting. She felt a call from God to give honor to his people. For more information, visit us at riverandword.com.
So guys, we are back. Ms. Trish is still here with me, and we have added Mr. Kevin to the conversation. Thank you for being here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here with me today. So you're in the media world just like I am. You do film, you do production, you do all kind of stuff. What inspired you? Let's start off easy.
Okay.
Before we go into your journey.
All right.
What inspired you to go into the media world?
Well, just seeing it as a early age, and as a kid, I just watched my mother watch Young and Restless. All my children want life to live. So going from that era, going to my grandmother's house, doing the same thing. We watching Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and all the episodes of Tarzan and Wizard of Oz. And I was like, you know what? I started thinking about, man, I got a creative mind. Maybe I could at an early age. And having to go to vacation Bible school with my grandfather at 5 years old, snag a tooth and say all 60 books of the Bible, that was like, hey, if I could do this in front of the church, I could do this in front of people. And so that inspired me to do it.
And so let's go into this journey. I don't know where you want to start. Something happened to you from age 3 to 9.
Yeah.
So let's go into that journey, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Well, my mother was a single mother. At times she had 2 sons. Me, being the oldest, I was 3 years old. I had a younger brother named Keith, who was 15 months old. And my mother was in medical school, and because she had kids at 21, she seeked to find employment to take care of her kids. So she was working for my cousin at a burgers joint right by on Hayes Street, right by the old yellow cab. And I had just had umbilical surgery, got my hernia. I had a hernia, and also she had me circumcised in 3. And she told her best friend, hey, you know, my son, I need your daughter to babysit for me because, you know, he's had surgery and he's real hyper. You know, he's strong, so you got to watch him. And, you know, she watched me, and she really watched me. And I remember, though, it happened yesterday. When the bandages came off, the inappropriate action started happening. And she was aggressive with it. She was, you know, I didn't think nothing of it because she was conning with those Fat Man cookies, those Cool Cups, and I'm 3 years old, so, you know, I didn't
and you
think
a
it was
baby.
wrong. Yeah, I didn't know any better. But as time progressed, you know, not said I knew any better then, but still it was something that she was, I guess they know how to con their way into your life and get you to keep that little secret. Don't tell nobody, it's just between us type of thing. And 6 years old, I remember everything going steady. 9 years old, I was really more advanced and because I still didn't tell it because I didn't, you know, she found more things to, I guess,
to keep
me
quiet.
quiet. Even though I was a talkative person, but it was like, I wouldn't tell that. You know, I wasn't threatened, it's just she knew, I guess she was crafted in that and she knew how to keep me, you know, my mouth shut and didn't say nothing. Even my brother, I didn't say nothing to him. As time progressed, my mother had other children. I didn't say nothing to nobody. And I remember going to my grandparents' house, and if it wasn't for my grandfather teaching me about God, that spirit would enter my system, my spirit, full-fledged, because that's all I knew.
So hold that, because we're going to get into that. So for people that may be a little lost, you're basically saying you were molested.
Yes.
You were molested from age 3 to 9.
Yes.
Pretty much. Did this person ever go to jail?
Nah, I didn't tell it. So I mean, you know, no, she didn't.
Have you made peace with this person over all these years now?
Well, I made peace with it, but I didn't verbally communicate with her about it. When I was 29, I was having surgery, patella tendon repair in Ben Taub, and she happened to be the recovery nurse.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and my mother was in the waiting room waiting for me to come out of surgery. And when I came to, I say, Mom, I say, so-and-so is in recovery.
You did tell your mom eventually,
I told my mother at 17, she didn't believe me. I told her at 21, she didn't believe me. I told her at 25, she finally believed me. And I said, why you believe me now? I said, because you keep telling me the same thing over and over. And I thought you were just making up. I said, no, I wouldn't make that up. And so when I came to in recovery, she told me, she looked at me and said, Kevin Lyles, you grew up to be a handsome young man, like that. So when I told my mother that she was in recovery, my mother wanted to go and confront her about it. And I told my mother kind of joking, I said, don't worry about it, I'll show her what a good young boy I've been, like that, you know, just jokingly, because I would use other strategies to not think about it and control it, because once you go have that happen, you, like anything that you do for 21 days is a habit.
And that's my next question. What are some of the steps you took not to go down the wrong path and to heal?
Well, first prayer.
That
was the first step, prayer. Pray to God. Whenever you in a situation that you have no answer to, you pray to God. But you also got to wait and listen to Him. And so also talking about it. Anything that you suppress, it eats at you, and it becomes uncontrollable. So I talked about it, you know, and I wrote a script titled Innocent Trust. And it's about a young man being molested, and he's trying to tell his mother, but I put a twist on it. She's too busy trying to get to the club while he's free to get in, so she's not listening to him. So I had to add some humor to that story, kind of like, so it won't be just the ordinary pedophilia type of story, you know. But with that being said, just making sure that no one else had to go down that journey, and if they did, they have to open up and talk about it, because the only way you're going to stop it, the only way you're going to survive, the only way you're not going to become the victimizer is by talking about it, you know. I mean, if you find a guy at the corner that says, hey, give me $1, I'm hungry or whatever, pay him $5 and talk to him. So you're getting off your chest, you know, you're feeling the relief about it. And as you continue to do that, you'll find yourself like I am now, being able to comfortably talk about it.
How has this affected your everyday life, though?
Ooh, well,
because you a parent now.
Yeah. I have a beautiful daughter, 26 years old. I got full custody when she was 6. And I didn't want nothing to happen to my daughter like that. So when they gave me full custody of my daughter, guess what? I kept it 100. I said, listen, you live with me, I'm your dad. We're gonna dress like this. If my door is closed in my room, you knock until I answer. Don't knock and turn. And I'm gonna give you that same respect. I'm walking around with my basketball shorts on, my wife beater. You'll never see me with nothing less than that on. The same way, when you come out your room, you need to be fully dressed. I don't want to see this and see that. And it made me real protective over women and children because of that. You know, and to this day, I you know, because going from that point to domestic violence, I'm real, I mean, it's like a ticking time bomb if I hear a guy talking crazy to a woman. If he puts his hands on in front of me, then he have a problem. Because I snap, I go back to that time when, you know, I felt alone, and this woman preyed upon me. But I hate that it happened, but I thank God there was a woman, because it made me even respect women more so. Like some men, it could happen to, they hold in, they become the victimizer, or they don't know how to deal with it, and you know, it really gets out of hand.
So before I ask Trish a question I have for her, explain a little about the double standard for men when dealing with the same issue versus women.
Well,
because I think we talked briefly about that. They don't believe you. They don't believe men when men are saying they're being, what's the best word to use? Raped, they don't believe, and in this day and time, they kind of don't believe us either sometimes. So, well,
I'm gonna tell you a true story. I was 26, not the Appaloosa story, but I was 26. I was 26, and I remember living in Greenspoint, and I had 2 roommates, a brother and a sister, and they had this friend. I mean, physically she was pretty, she's nice, but she had the crappiest attitude, and I didn't like her for that. I couldn't stand her. And one night we went to the club, and I didn't eat nothing, so I drank a Long Island iced tea. I drank the Hurricane, and I got to the apartment, and all I remember was hugging the toilet, face down in there. I woke up the next morning, I have no clothes on, condoms everywhere. She laying on the side of me. And I called the cops, because I didn't consent to it. And I called the cops, and they came out and they laughed. They said, why? I said, she raped me. And they was like, I said, so if she got drunk and I done the same thing to her, you'd be taken to jail in handcuffs.
Pretty much.
So why is that she could do it, and I call you guys out for justice, and y'all laugh at me, but if I did it to her, now I got arrested as a sexual offender and all that type of stuff. My life is ruined because I decided to take advantage of someone that's, you know, incoherent, inebriated. So, you know, it could happen. But the thing about it, when it happens, it's just like saying, okay, if it's hard for a woman to say she got date raped, imagine how hard it is for a man to say he got raped.
Yeah.
But if it's for a woman, they say, okay, it's okay, she just took it. No, it's not consensual. So if a man get raped by another man, he's not gonna tell nobody. It's gonna eat at him, until it's destroyed his man, it's taken away his masculinity. Everything. And now guess what happens? Now he wants to be transgender. He wants to live the life of a female because his man has been taken. And men, a lot of men, they lie about it. They go to prison, and everybody got this prison story. I was messing with the guard. No, all you brothers ain't messing with the guard. Some of you brothers mess with each other, but they're not gonna say that.
Yeah.
And so the realization of it, it eats at them, and they become belligerent. They become very violent. Their sexual appetite changes, but it's not spoken, and they don't have no outlet. They don't have nobody to say, "Hey, man, this would happen to me." I mean, it was hard for me to say that about the woman, but I joked about it to get through it.
Yeah.
But ain't no man gonna sit there. We drinking beers, playing pool, watching the game. He said, "Oh man, by the way, when I was 4 years old, Uncle Willie."
And then you might be looked at totally different by the people that's
right,
sitting
because
around
the stereotype of, "Oh man, what's your flavor?" Now it affects him psychologically. And when you take a man's psychological thinking away from him, you just destroy him. He can't think no more. The embarrassment.
So before we end this segment, what are some key tips you give men as they go through their journey? Because you talked about it, and that's what helped you. You said
right.
What are some tips that you give men?
The first thing is reintroducing humanity to them. You are a man, but you're human first, and your basic human right is to be able to heal, and you can't heal if you don't address it. And so that's the first thing is you're human. You're a man, but you're human. And the second thing is, and for the sake of your show and respect, forget what other people expect for you to do. Do what you need to do.
Yeah.
To heal. Your eyes work. Your tear ducts work. Use them if you need to. Creating that safe space. What I tell them is, it's not going to get better if it stays under the rug.
Oh, no, it won't.
What I also share is just my perception of how we got to this place, not just for the men, but the whole house. Because the head falls, the whole house falls.
Yeah.
And we've been dealing with that for years. So just that awareness and speaking my truth and what I see and where men is, I see that there's a level of comfort that they have, knowing that a woman sees it and is bold enough to speak it, and they see that, and that gives them that comfort. So I think that the more of us, not just women, but people, bind together and say, hey, humans are human. And we have the God-given right to deal with our healing, to deal with our pain. We have the God-given right to do those things. It's given to us. So how dare other people take that right away because we're a certain gender and because it's what they want to see. That's what makes them comfortable, but are you comfortable? And how has that affected your life?
Can I add something to that? Which, when she said it earlier, it's trust. See, I trusted her as an adult. Even though I was a kid, 3 years old, I trusted in her decisions, her judgment, and her actions. And so right. So no, I'm gonna come to you in a few minutes. Okay. So I trusted what she was telling me was valid. So therefore, I didn't speak on it. I didn't act different on it. I was, that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't go into great details because it did have some hangups with me. But even I had to trust her, being a stranger, to sit down and talk to her about it. But I was like, I'm at the point I could talk about it. I can sit on Facebook and talk about it.
Because you've healed.
I'm real protected, but I had some hangups about it. Certain things I'm not cool with when it comes down to certain things. When on the intimate level, I'm not cool with that. And I don't have a problem with. I tell them in a minute, no, I'm not cool with that. That's what my preference. What I like is this. I don't like that. And I can stand firm on it. I'm a Taurus, so I'm going to stand firm on it. You know what I'm saying?
What I really want to end with is, yes, I'm a woman, but my dealings with men in my life, I've had so much pain in that area, but I've seen their pain.
Yeah.
And so what I want to just end with is,
well, that
it's
might be
time.
That might be going into what my last question for both of you. What would you say to a young man or adult man that has or is walking in this journey you did?
Well,
and not at that place to find the trust that you found in Trish, or just haven't healed. What would you say to them so they can start healing?
Well, based on down the line, it happened to my younger brother.
You did,
and it was a man.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally told me after my mother's funeral in 2004. I mean 2002. And I asked him, I say, man, why you didn't come talk to me? And he looked me in my eyes, he said, because I didn't want you to go to prison. And I said, hey man, I'm still your brother. We're 16 years apart, I still love you. Anytime you want to talk, I'm not gonna ridicule you, I'm not gonna say it's your fault. I said, but you could talk to me. Because it's a way I say, if you keep on, you know, it's gonna get worse. Like I said, it's not gonna get better, it's gonna get worse, because you hold it in. You're afraid for people to know your story and be able to help you. You can't get help if you don't say what's wrong. And so for the other guys that's out here that's closed in, step away from your body and look and say, hey, if that was your son or your daughter being done like that, when you want them to get help, when you want them to have a better life, because it is life after that, and you don't want them going through those things, because everybody can't handle that. They handle it differently.
Exactly.
You know, they become serial pedophiles, they have to arrest, they have rapists or whatever. It messes with their psychological. They everything is once that's thrown off, they can't come back.
Yeah.
They like my grandfather used to say in the song, say, "I gone too far to turn around." It goes too far, you can't turn around. You can't help it. So you got to catch it when it's new, or you can't say, well, whenever fresh, yeah, or when you ready, whenever you're ready to talk about
today.
it. Yeah, you can't procrastinate. That's something you can't procrastinate about.
Yeah.
You have to attack it in the early stages,
Yeah.
or it's gonna get aggressive. And once it does that, it's a wrap. You know.
What I would say is to those young men is that awareness, self-awareness is everything. Telling the truth to you is everything. Pursuing you is everything. And I think that we need to take ourselves off the shelf and pursue ourselves like we pursue everything else in life. And I have dedicated a lot of time and energy to speaking not just to men's trauma. I think that's the beginning of it, but there's so many other things. And so, you know, I became a counselor because in all of the things that I have endured, not just with that situation, but just overall, and seeking counseling, no one was scratching the surface and no one really looked like me. So I have to trust the thing that I don't trust to try to get to the place that I'm trying to get to. And so I went and I sought out myself. And so I developed holocounseling.com. And that's my counseling service to people. And it's offered to anybody, you know, $59.
I was just gonna ask you that. How can anybody, if they want to reach out to you, social media outlets, give us that information?
Absolutely. holocounseling.com is my website. You can go on there and fill out the questionnaire, and we will definitely reach out. We'll be right in touch with you. And there are several things, because meditation is key in our spiritual growth. We're taught to pray. We're taught to read the word. But there's a key that's missing, and it's meditation. It's just that vertical relationship, not the lateral. You know, having that vertical relationship really makes a difference in who we are and who we become. So we offer meditation services as well as counseling services, group sessions, and it's about real life stuff. It's unorthodox. It's not your typical therapy. It's a spiritual belief therapy. So it's kind of intertwined with, you know, what they teach in therapy, but then that spiritual component that's really missing, that's needed. So it's holocounseling.com, and then, you know, my Facebook is Trish Winston. Instagram is Trish Ambitious, but it's all right there. And then my phone number is 281.
Don't put your phone number.
Oh, well, that's my
the business phone.
Yeah.
Let them look you up on the.
Gotcha.
Yeah, don't put your phone.
Yeah.
Don't put your phone. That's it.
You like, no, you don't want that.
Mine is just simple on Facebook and Instagram. It's The Real Kevin Lyles, THARELKVINLYLES. I just keep it simple like that because I have so many other
it's the easiest
businesses
that way.
Yeah, so you find me, and I'm on there sometimes daily, giving out advice, having my little podcast myself.
Yeah.
I hadn't got back in the studio yet because I'm waiting for my sponsors to take care of their business. So far, I have 1 out of 10. So, and when I run my show in 3 weeks or whatever I decide to launch it, if they ain't paid, they're not getting promoted.
I'm coming to be a guest.
Oh, most definitely. I've had Freeway Rick Ross and a bunch of others on it, so you're welcome anytime. Anytime. And we keep it 100.
Well, I think I will.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to that Opelousas conversation that you had in that green room. Because you're not going to talk about my home.
Wait a minute.
But we're going to get back on that. But I want to thank both of you all for being here today. And for you, for sure, for sharing something like that.
Absolutely.
And wanting to share something like that.
Absolutely.
So thank you so very much. Guys, when we return, Mr. Damon Valentine with the Young Kings are still here, and we'll be back with him and his special guest to close out the show. So we'll be right back.
Wisdom Tax. Maybe I should give him a call. Oh, how did you get in my house again?
Now, you know I told you I'm with Wisdom Tax.
Well, I'm glad you showed up because I think I'm ready to get started.
Great. Look, I just need you to do one simple step. Visit our website online, www.wisdomtax.org. All right, fill out the application and we'll get back to you, maybe even in the next 10 minutes.
Awesome. I'm about to be free. Look, this is amazing. You know, so what? Wait. Hello?
Call us at Wisdom Tax, where you learn to be free.
We're back, and Damon seems to be turning out like one of my other guests that comes to the show, and they bring special guests with them. But I'm super excited today because I have sitting with me and Damon the Silver Fox Squad. I'm trying to see if they got a ladies department so I can get into that since I'm gray hair. Thank you both for coming and sitting down with me today. I know Mr. Irvin, right?
Irvin, yes.
Irvin's, my uncle's name is Irvin, so know Mr. Irvin's name because he's everywhere, on every social media platform. You had the women running wild when you first came out. And give me your name.
JP.
JP. So they're here with us today. So first of all, thank you for taking time out to come and sit with me.
Yes,
secondly, tell me about this Silver Fox Squad, because I seen a couple pictures.
You seen it? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
Did you like what you saw?
Y'all are sharp.
Okay, good. That's the reaction we want.
Sharp.
We're just, I developed a group called Silver Fox Squad, and right now I have 7 brothers, including myself. What we do, we represent, you know, the 50 plus, and what we try to put out as we're older guys, and we take care of ourselves. We exercise, we eat right, we do everything that because we want longevity out of life. We want to see it, you know, around. So developing, and all the guys in the group, we all have something in common, which is fashion, but I'm an educator, he's a photographer, so everybody has a different background, but we can still come together as to make a group as one. So that's how I developed the Silver Fox Squad. And what we do is we go from city to city. We space ourselves out every 2 months. But only to tell you, with the pandemic, it kind of slowed us down a little bit. It slowed us down a little bit.
It slowed everything down.
Yes, it slowed us down, but we'll keep striving. You know, the thing now, we've all been vaccinated, you know, and things like that. We take care of ourselves. We're wearing masks when we go places. We make sure everybody else is safe as well. One of the things is our first trip was to Baltimore.
How was that?
I can only tell you it was something we planned, and when I got there, I didn't expect for it to be like it was. It was a huge success. And that was at the beginning of the pandemic of COVID. And we what we did was we set a whole day out just to go shoot pictures as a group and individuals. And that evening, that Saturday evening, we had an event at the hotel. And the lady, we had 300 people to come. She could only sell 300 because of the pandemic. And then she called me and she said, well, we can't have 300 people. We can only have 150. And that kind of put a little damper on it. But I can only tell you, when we got there, those people was wrapped around that hotel. We went upstairs. But of course, we had it in an open area on the top floor where we can be outside, because that's what they were saying, it was going to be safe at that time. And we raised money. We found an organization in Baltimore, because what we like to do, just to show the young guys, you know, this is the way you do if you want to see it like this. You know, to carry yourself like this. You know, not to get out in the street and go down the wrong street. You know, we all have trials and tribulations. You know what I'm saying? So, but still, you overcome that and you make yourself stronger. So, what I like to do is every city that we go to, we look into an organization as to we have an event and we raise money. We give it back to that organization to show them we appreciate you too, and we're here with you as well, and we have your back too. You know, you know, we just not men just taking pictures. We want to give it back to you, appreciate you. We want to show you how to get here, how to tie your tie, how to put on your shoes, how to shine your shoes, things like that. So we just want to give back.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
What is the age group for if someone wants to join?
Well, the youngest, JP is our baby. He's 43.
I'm the youngest in the group,
You the baby of the group?
I'm the youngest, but it's okay.
And what's the limit? It doesn't matter.
I am the oldest. I'm 60. So,
really?
Yeah, I'm 60. So I am the oldest. A couple of guys are behind me, 57, 54. So we try to keep it like that. But I can only tell you, I recruit JP here in Houston. When I saw his style, his swagger, you know, and see where he's going with it, I went to him and asked him, hey, would you join this group? And I said, well, we're some old dudes. We're 50. You know, so he kindly, you know, joined the group, and he's represent the group so well. And we all bring, like I said, we all bring something different to the table when we come together.
Okay, okay. So, Damon, are you part of the group now? You too young?
Nah, well, let's just say that right now we're partners, and we're exactly where God wants us to be. Yes. I don't know what the future is. I know we got some similarities. And the funny thing that you asked that is when I go out, you know, all the time, ladies will walk up to me and say, man, are you part of that group? They don't know the silver, yes. But they say, you part of those silver Panthers or Silver Fox guys? I'm like, no, you know what? I've never met those guys before. I said, but I got a feeling one day that I will. And here we are.
Here we are.
And we were following each other on social media.
Yeah.
And haven't even met.
Just to show you the power of social media.
And that's the thing. I always tell people, you know, to support each other.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because he would post something, I'm like, man, that's clean. Man, did I see him? Actually, the way that we really got connected.
He always clean.
Yeah. but one day he was extra clean. So, you know what I'm saying? He was crispy clean. So I said, man, I'm going to post this.
Yeah.
That day I posted it. I said, man, let me send him a request. Because we were supposed to meet before. It just didn't happen. And he saw it. He said, man, I don't never check my Facebook. And he said, I just so happened to see, yo, record. And he said, man, that's that guy. And here we are. So we had our first meeting. We talked about God's timing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're together on God's timing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like what you guys are doing because I think a lot of young men have forgotten how to dress.
How to dress, yes.
How to tie a tie. That's something a man, a father would teach their son, or the grandfather would teach the grandson how to tie a tie and put on suits and grooming, like the young man talked about, grooming and stuff like that. I think we've lost that. The thing with the pants hanging down off your butt, that is not cute.
No, it's not.
At all. Men my age are doing stuff. What?
They don't know the meaning of the pants sagging. They really don't know the meaning. They think it's cool.
And it's
but there's
not.
a meaning.
There's
a meaning behind
it. Yeah.
There's a meaning behind it. And once you whisper in their ear and tell them, immediately they pull them up, you know. They don't want that on them, you know. So, and I salute to women. We salute to women. You know, one of the things is with the group, we get a lot of requests from women that are single moms. You know, can you help my son? Can you show my son? Can you mentor my son? And you know, again, we salute women. We know that you are the hero of our hero. You are. It's unbelievable the things that you can do. But you know, we have to look at a woman can only do so much. You know, you do it, but you can only do so much. You know, and these young boys, they need a man around in their life just to, you know, put that little extra into it as to show them this is how you're going to act like a gentleman in public.
Exactly. So what's next for the Silver Fox Squad?
Well, we're talking about it now. You know, that's next. I mean, the thing is, Irvin and I and the group, we've been talking already about, you know, getting with young men, and not only just about dress, but also professionally. Hey, where do you want to go from here? You finish school. Well, what's the next step?
Exactly.
But we just didn't know how and which direction we were going to go until Damien came into the picture.
Okay.
And he showed us what he was doing, and we were like, that's it. You know, so besides us continue to do what we're already doing, we're incorporating the young men as well. And then eventually, who knows what the future may hold. You mentioned the women, may get women involved, I don't know. But that's what we're working on.
It's a lot of young ladies that have forgotten how to dress.
That too.
You know, it's one thing to dress and have an outfit that's kind of, you know, naked. I'm just gonna say, naked. But it's a way to be tasteful naked.
Yes.
And leave something to the imagination, not just be naked. So it's a way to do things.
Absolutely.
And some ladies have forgotten that, even the older ones.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Yeah.
I would like to say something. For the young men, you know, they didn't know. I actually told them this yesterday. I said, I know the organization helped you guys a lot. I know it helped you guys a lot.
Right.
I said, but I don't think you realize that you are the bricks to my foundation. Because of them, I'm here today with you guys. I'm here with you. They help build, and I told them all the ups and downs, you know, the joy, the rain, everything we've been through, that helped me build it to get me where I am today. So I want to tell, you know, the young kings, I didn't just do something for them. They did something for me, and in turn, I can give back to the community. And that's my whole goal, is to empower them, because a lot of our men, they don't see past that day, that moment, you know, that smile or that frown, that depression, whatever it may be. But they need to know that you guys did something for the future. And now these guys are going to be part of it, and it's because of them.
And I'll say this, when we walked in, the handshakes, the eye contact that we received, I was blown away. You know, I have a 13-year-old son myself, and I'm working on that with him. Like, man, when you come up to me, don't look down. Don't look at me in my eyes, man. And
make that eye contact. Never look down. Look them in the eye.
Absolutely. And that right there is a form of respect, and it also is confidence. So, good job.
Exactly.
That is good.
That's something that we work on. It's like he said. You know, I say, when the last time you had your haircut? Come on, let's go. You know, to this day, my son, I got custody of my son legally when he was 10. And he is the reason why I started the organization. And to this day, he still goes to the same barber. You know, he just books his appointment. Said, "Man, your son just came." I'm like, "Really?" Man, got to say hi to him today. You know, I've been so busy. He's like, "Yeah, man, he just came in for a haircut." So it goes a long way in those small things.
That you do, yes.
It makes a difference, and I think they're seeing it now that they're older. They're meeting other young men who don't know.
Yeah.
And they have to tell them, "Hey, man, it's all right. Shake my hand. You know, you good. You all right? You want to talk about something?" Because that's what I did to them. So it's good to hear, you know, you guys say that they did that. I mean, they doing what they learned. Yeah.
So do y'all have any more surprises or anything? Nothing?
We got some stuff coming.
We got some stuff coming.
What y'all got? Y'all want to talk a little bit about it before I close out this?
I can only tell you, Damon came over. I invited him over to my house at 7 o'clock, and myself and a couple more guys were there, and we sit there till almost 2 o'clock.
In the morning or in the evening?
I mean, we were just the conversation that we were having as grown men, you know, and we all have something in common here as to look out for the young men that's coming up. So we have something in plan for 2022 as to help these young men, and we want your support. We want everybody's support.
Most definitely.
To come out and support this event that we're going to have and next year, and it's going to be something that's going to blow your mind.
Y'all know how to find me now. Y'all have met me now for the first time, so y'all know how to find me. Just call me up, and if I'm in town, I'm there. How can if someone wants to contact the Silver Fox Squad, how can they do that?
We have a Silver Fox official fan page, and there's an email there. So we have someone that runs that page, and if you need anything, reach out to us, because we get a lot of requests through that email. So if you want to reach through that email, you can, and we'll get back with you.
Okay, so they just Silver Fox Squad.
Okay, just go to Silver Fox Squad.
Yes.
Okay, and Damon, how do if people want to contact the organization, how do they do that?
You can go to youngkingsmentoring.com. Has a lot of the literature, information. You'll see pictures of these guys on there too. You know, there's pictures of me before the beard. You know, we've been rocking for a long time. You know, so and they can also go to the Instagram, which is Young Kings Mentoring. And they can also email at youngkingsmentoring@gmail.com.
Okay. I want to thank all of you guys.
Thank you.
For being here with me today. If you need any information on any of these guests that are here today, you can contact the Our Life TV show at gmail.com. Catch us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. on the OnPoint Network, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Xbox, AT&T Now, and in the Houston area, Comcast 17 and 99, AT&T Uverse. Like, follow, share the Our Life TV show. Until next time, guys, always empower, always encourage, pull up to the table without fear, but with confidence, and continue to remove your mask.